I wasn't looking for a new case. I had enough ghosts in the drawer already. But trouble doesn't knock on the door. It strolls in wearing heels and a scent that reminds you of wet pavement and bad decisions. She said her name was Ann Peaks, and the ring on her finger said she had money. The look in her eyes said she hadn't slept since her husband died. They said it was a robbery, a botched one. Some hopped-up kid breaks in, shoots James Peaks, takes nothing but a wristwatch, and vanishes into the smog. The cops closed the book before it was open, but she didn't buy it, and neither did I. The first time I saw her, she stood framed in the door of my office like a painting you'd find in a museum where they don't dust. White dress, red lips, cigarette trembling just enough to say she was nervous, or wanted me to think she was. "Mr. Parker? That's me most days. I need help. Don't they all?" She sat, crossed her legs, and I tried not to stare. She had a way of making silence feel like foreplay. "It's about my husband, James Peaks. He was shot in his study last Thursday night. Robbery, right? Only they didn't take anything." Her eyes didn't blink. "You keep up with crime scenes, Mr. Parker. I keep up with money. A man like James Peaks makes a noise when he dies. And what about his wife? That depends on whether she's crying or cashing checks." That got me a smirk. "You're direct. I don't like surprises." She leaned in, and her perfume did something awful to my good sense. I didn't kill him, but someone wanted him dead. And now I think they want me too. Peaks' house sat in Beverly Hills, behind gates and walls and cameras that didn't work when they needed to. The cops marked it as random. I marked it as a setup. The safe was still locked, the drawers untouched, but the window was broken from the inside. Sloppy. Or staged. The forensics boys found her prints on the gun. Her story was she found him, picked up the piece in shock. I've heard worse. Hell, I've written better. She cried at the station, big wet tears on a white handkerchief. The boys lapped it up, but I saw the flicker behind her eyes. Cold, calculating, like she was already 5 moves ahead of the badge. Still, I kept seeing her. That was my mistake. One night, she came to my office with a bottle of scotch and lips the color of a last chance. "I don't like being alone," she said. "Most people don't." She poured us both a drink and stood by the window. "Do you believe me?" "No," she turned. "But you're still helping me." "Yeah," I said, looking down at my glass. "That's the part I haven't figured out." She came closer and the air got thick. Her hand brushed mine. Electricity, or maybe just static, but I felt it all the way to my teeth. "You ever think," she whispered, "that some people are meant to find each other?" I looked at her and I saw it. What every man sees when he walks into the lion's mouth and hopes it's not hungry. I think some people are meant to burn. The more I dug, the worse it got. She had a lover once, Manny Vega, small-time crook turned gym rat. He did 2 years for armed robbery and got out 6 months before Peaks took a bullet to the chest, burned phone records, cash withdrawals, and a motel room paid in cash 2 days before the murder. All signs pointed to her, but signs lie. People lie better. The night I confronted her, she didn't blink. "Manny's dead," she said. "They pulled him out of the river last week. He was scared. Said someone was following him. Someone who knew." "Knew what?" She poured another drink. "That it wasn't a robbery, and that you planned it." She didn't answer, just stared out the window, like she was trying to see a life that didn't end in handcuffs. "I didn't want James dead," she said finally. "I just wanted out." "Same thing, isn't it?" "No," she said, and her voice cracked. "Not when it all goes wrong." I should have walked away. I knew better. But she was like gravity. You can't see it, but it pulls you just the same. I kissed her that night. It was slow and desperate, like we both knew the clock was ticking. And when I woke up the next morning, she was gone. So was the gun. So was my heart, if I ever had one to begin with. They found her in Mexico a week later, with a new name and dyed hair. It didn't stick. I never saw her again. But sometimes when the night's too quiet and the bottle's half full, I remember her perfume and that smile that meant nothing and everything at once. I should have known better. But then again, no one ever writes songs about safe women.